Good evening, and welcome to another edition of Urban Sentinel Live. Yes, it's Monday night, and what do we do on Monday night? It's all about Urban Sentinel Live, but we take the opportunity to interview some of the most important people in the United States today. And so, with me tonight, I have Michelle, Queen of Harlem Smalls. And can you say that again? Michelle, Queen of Harlem Smalls. So, Queen of Harlem, how you doing tonight? And welcome to the
I'm
show.
I'm great and I'm happy to be here. Thank you.
Hey, I'm glad to have you here. And I just sent Jackie a note, and she better be on watching this, okay? So I told her, I said, look, we on live now, so get to it, get to it. Okay, where we're gonna start at tonight. I know the first thing I want to ask you, how did you get the name Queen of Harlem?
How did I get actually the name Queen of Harlem came from a guy named Reggie.
Okay.
What happened was Harlem is very cliquey, meaning everybody stays to themselves. Maybe different blocks they stay to themselves. They don't interact with other blocks.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody wanted to do a party together and nobody could get it done. And they've been trying to do it for maybe 4 years. So I have a relationship with everybody. I mean, separate relationship with everyone. So I
Mm-hmm.
talked to everyone, and I was able to get everybody to collectively do a great party together. And the name Queen of Harlem came from pretty much being able to bring together unity. And Reggie was like, nobody could do that. You're the Queen of Harlem. So I was in a park one day, and a guy was like, "Hi, Queen of Harlem," and I didn't even turn because I didn't know he was
Uh-huh.
talking to me. And and then everybody just started calling me that, and the name stuck.
And Jackie, I mean, when Jackie told me about you, she just had all these accolades for you. She said, Reggie, you got to talk to her. You got to interview her for a magazine. You got to talk to her. You got to talk to her. I said, talk to who? The Queen of Harlem, my friend. You got to talk to her. She'll be good for you. So it's obvious that you have a good following of people in Harlem that give you the utmost respect as if you are the queen, you know.
well, well, I do a lot for Harlem. I do a
Uh-huh.
lot in Harlem. So, and I do it not for attention. I do it genuinely from my heart. And people see that and know it. And this is not something that I've done this year or last year, something I've done my whole life.
Mhm. Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
in Harlem, I'm definitely well respected.
Yeah. So you were born in Harlem and grew up in Harlem.
Yes.
Okay. 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 Cool. 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 So tell me about how did you turn your life experiences into um to what you have going on now, especially with your book. You have a book out. So give me the take me through the process of how did you get to your book and what made you write that book on the
Okay.
commandment.
All right. I wrote the book because, well, I worked in a shelter system for years, maybe about 10 years,
Mhm.
and I would see so many people have so much potential, and they let it go. I mean, just let it go away because what people think of them or what people say, or people. I mean, maybe they had a criminal history, or maybe that they just had was on bad time. I mean, bad luck or hard times, and they let that define them. So I end up doing very well. So when I started doing well, people thought that I've never went through the struggle or I've never been homeless or I've never had a criminal history. And I want to show them, yes, I have everything that you have and you still can succeed with those things. So the book was just me not being selfish because I didn't really want to put my business in the street. However, I wanted a young girl to see just because you made a mistake young doesn't mean that it has to dictate who you're going to be.
Mhm.
So
Mhm.
that's why the book came about. Actually,
Okay.
Dame Dash begged me to write the book.
Uh huh. Who you said Damien did?
Dame Dash, yep, he begged
Yeah.
me to write.
Okay. Okay. Now, is his offices in Harlem? Does he work out of Harlem?
He works in LA.
In LA? Okay. Okay. But he's
And
from
he
that
was
area too, right?
Yeah. Well, yeah, we're very good friends, and he was like, Michelle, send me a chapter. So I would
Hmm.
just write chapters, and he really suckered me into writing a book because I would send him like little chapters, and next thing you know,
Uh-huh.
I done wrote him a whole pretty much book, and
Hmm.
collectively we put it together and put it out.
Yeah, but see, that was him being slick. He saw your potential, and he knew what you could do, but he knew that he couldn't just depend on you to write a book. So he just pulled it out of you. So that was good of him. That was cool of him to do that, to
Yeah,
pull it
that
out
was.
of you and everything. So tell me some of the stories that you put in the book. Just tell me about the book.
Um, it's about, a whole bunch of life experience, and like, okay, basically, my mom was on drugs, and my father died when I was one.
Hmm.
So since I've been on my own since I was like 14. So it's just like a bunch of stories, and how, how someone, you could utilize that and say, well, my mom was on drugs, and that's the reason why they use drugs, and 100 years later, my mother can't dictate my life. And that's
Hmm.
what I want people to understand. Like, just because somebody messed up, you can't bury your problems into somebody else. Now, if I choose to use drugs, I can't say because my mother used drugs. I did it because that's what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
So that's what I wanted my book to show. Like, you still have choices. No matter what background you have choices.
Hmm. Hmm. Now, when you reach out to the young men and young women of Harlem, and I'm pretty sure you're mentoring them, through your book and through your actions. How do you? And gosh, I don't know if I should ask this question now because COVID is is all around us right now. So how do you reach out to the young people today to get the
Pretty much they
message
reach
out
out
to
to
them?
me.
Oh, okay.
They reach out to me. I
Hmm.
have so many followers on Instagram, and I have so many followers on Facebook, and and I have a couple of businesses in New York. So I have
Hmm.
actually had people come to one of my businesses, and maybe a young girl crying or whatever the case may be. So I don't turn my back on to anybody. So
Hmm.
any from the lowest to the highest can reach me.
So tell me
So
about your philanthropy work that you do in Harlem.
okay, on Christmas I do a coat drive. I sponsor. Well, this year I sponsored 800 children. I sponsored 800 children from the shelters with new coats, new toys, and if some usually it'd be a hairdo, but this year we couldn't do hairdos because of COVID. But they definitely have a new coat and a new toy.
Hmm. That's awesome. That is awesome. That is awesome. Tell me about your businesses that you have.
I have I have a juice bar in Harlem. I have a real estate office in Harlem. I have a salon in Harlem, and I have a post op office in Harlem, and I have an event space.
You just doing a darn thing, girl. You out
I'm
there.
trying. I'm trying. I just want honestly, I just want young girls to see that you can do whatever you want to do. Like,
Hmm.
whatever you put your mind to do, you can do it. Don't let nobody tell you that there's limits.
Hmm.
Or
Hmm.
you can do whatever your heart desires.
What motivates you?
What motivates me? Mm, my children.
The children.
My children. Yep, my children. My children, and do anything if you leave it to him. I'm like, oh really? I can do that. So it's like, yeah, really, my children and my pastor.
With all those businesses and your book and everything, when they look at their mother, they probably say they can. They just probably know that hey, they can. The sky's the limit. They can just hobble with stars if they want to.
Yeah, I'm really proud of my children. Like, I don't put a bunch of pressure on them.
Hmm.
One of my oldest, well, my son, I paid for him to go to Seton Hall. He went 3 years. He didn't finish his last year, but I don't have very high expectations for my kids. I want them to be them. I want them to, like, I put everything out there hoping they're walking my footsteps, but I have to respect them for being them.
Hmm. Yeah, you make a good point there. I'm from the old school. grew up. My parents, they were educators, and they had. I think back when I was growing up and going through high school, and then going on to college, the expectations were different. That you come out of high school, you go to college, you become a teacher or a preacher or mortician or something like that. With my kids, they doing their own thing. I always say, okay, I want my kids to be a doctor or a lawyer or something like that. But I have my daughter. She's a recording engineer. She's doing her own thing.
Nice.
She loves music. My son, he's a chemist. He works in the oil and petroleum field. You know,
Amazing.
uh, so I didn't get what I wanted. It was different. The times are different. So kids, they look at doing things that make them feel good and make them feel like they're successful. And I couldn't fight with that. I couldn't fight with that. I just left it alone. I just left it alone. I did not fight with that. So when is the Lifetime story coming out on you?
I don't. Well, actually, me, Damon, and Nick is working on a movie. Well, they're turning the book into a movie. I didn't hear about. I don't have any Lifetime on the table, but they're definitely working towards a movie.
You will have something on the table. You have a story that you can take and put on Lifetime or any channel and tell the story. You have a story. You have a story, and I feel so. It's great that I'm able to sit down with you for a little while and talk to you. And I appreciate that. Because
Well, I wish I would have came back. I just got off the plane from Mexico, so I look a good mess. But
you look good. You look good. Get over it.
but
Get
I
over
was
it.
never. My word is all I have. So
Yeah.
even if I would have had one piece of strand of hair, I would have got on.
Yeah. So I see you have. I mean, I feel like the new kid on the block. That I just walked into a candy store because I'm looking at. You've been in a number of magazines and with your story and everything, like Rolling Out. That's a group, a magazine or a newspaper, however you put it. That I really respect because they run some good stories. So so I see. You've and that was just recently that you did
Yeah,
a
I was
piece
in
with
rolling
them.
out.
Yeah, yeah, that you did a piece with them. So if I'm walking down the street and I holler out, anybody know the Queen of Harlem? What they gonna say to me?
And Harlem, of course, there's nowhere you could go here and
Uh
don't
huh.
and they would know me. Now I don't know about anywhere else,
Uh
but
huh.
Harlem,
Uh
anywhere you
huh.
go, they know who I am.
Right. Now, have you ever thought about running for political office, like running for the borough mate?
They asked me to, but I don't want to. I have
Why?
no interest in that
Uh
because
huh.
you know me in politics, everything is black and white. I have compassion, so it wouldn't work for me. Like a lot of times, I mean, I do business with my heart, not what was right or wrong. Like it's no gray areas. So I wouldn't even put myself into that type of position.
So tell me about this upcoming event on the 24th, a couple Wednesdays from now. Sisters Who Succeed Women's History Month virtual conference. Tell me about that.
Oh, I, I just got that too.
Oh, they
I just got,
surprised you, huh?
I just got that too.
Uh huh.
I just got that too. So I'm going to look further into it. I just got that one as well.
Oh, okay. It sounds like it's going to be a good conference. Sisters Who Succeed. I
Yeah,
mean, because you are a success. You are successful.
yeah.
You are succeeding.
I
You know.
try.
Oh, you
I try.
okay? You,
I
it's nothing wrong with being humble and modest. Okay,
try.
there's nothing wrong with that. Okay,
I try.
it is nothing wrong with that. So you said it. You said you just found out about that today, huh?
Yes, when I got off the plane.
Uh, mhm. So how long did it take you to write your book?
um, about 2 years. I mean,
Okay.
it took about 2 years because when he asked me to write it, I said no, and he got chapters and chapters, and and he kept asking for stuff. I was like, give me a week, and I would give it to him next month.
Hmm.
So technically, it was about 2 years.
Okay. Okay. Now, You say that Damien was looking at doing a movie. What is his angle? What is his how is he trying to frame the movie?
Well, I had an interview with him and Nick Cannon maybe about 6 months ago,
Mm-hmm.
and right now they had me on the phone with the producers, and what happened was, like a lot of things I do, I don't do it for money. It have to sit right and it have to be comfortable with me. Like
Mm-hmm.
I don't care what it is. Like even my book, he had got me an editor, and I fired the editor, and they was getting ready to give me a large sum of money for it, but I didn't want it because they try to change who I am. I
Right.
want to be Michelle regardless to what. And
Mm-hmm.
if I make $20 off a book, I'm comfortable long as it's what I wrote and what I want to look in the mirror and say, you know what, that was me, not somebody who made me this fictitious person. So
Mm-hmm.
now with the movie, they definitely put me on the phone with a writer and they offered me a money. But I denied it because he tried to turn my story into something that's really not me. So
Mm-hmm.
now we're back at the table again.
So you want so what I'm hearing is you want the raw you.
Yeah,
You don't
I
want the
want to. I don't want to
sugar-coated you.
be. I don't want to be this make believe person. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I have a past. It is what it is. I can't change that. So I'm not gonna sugarcoat, or I'm not gonna deny who I am to please anybody. Because at the end of the day, I'm not pleased. I can't wake up in the morning. I can't look at Michelle and be happy. And if I can't
Mm-hmm.
look at Michelle and be happy, how can I make anybody else happy?
Right. So you call yourself an activist? Because I know with Nick is an activist. Okay, I mean Nick is out there pushing buttons, making people mad. He's an active. He speaks and believes in what he does.
No, I'm not that at all. See, I'm more of they're more into politicians and out for people. I'm more of I just want to help people. I
Mm-hmm.
don't want to get into all of the politicals and this and I don't even want to be right all the time. If something I could do, if can help you, that's what I would choose to do. I don't want to be like, oh, this is what I said. Stand on it, and I don't want to do all of that stuff.
Now,
I
how
don't
have
like.
your book?
I hate controversy.
Uh
I don't
huh.
like arguing. I don't go back and forth. Me, I will okay you to death. If something gets on my nerves, or I'm not the person that can do the back and forth. I don't have time for it.
Mm-hmm.
See, and Damon is a professional arguer. I'm not that.
Oh, so he gonna sit there and he gonna get down with you and try to get his point across. And
Exactly.
he's going to do that. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. So, how did you find yourself in real estate? 'Cause I know in New York it's probably a booming market in real estate.
Real estate, like I said, I worked in the shelter system, and
Mm-hmm.
I was working with a lot of. I was a housing specialist, and every time I would go to try to place a person, they would deny them for various reasons, and basically because they was homeless, and they were prejudged.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, you know what? One year the shelter was losing their they were losing their grant, and they said that I had to place 193 people in 4 months, and I went to work completely. And
Mm-hmm.
when I said, look how much money I lost, like I placed a 193, and I paid the broker $1,500 for the city paid the broker $1,500 for each person. I said, oh, this is so easy. I could do this. I did all the work, so I ended up getting my broker's license.
Hey, and that was very smart, very smart, very smart. The way to go. So, how have your book sales been?
My book sales was amazing. My book sales was amazing. I think the first I made Amazon bestsellers the first day. I think I
Oh,
sold
okay.
maybe like $20,000 in books the first 2 days.
Mm-hmm. That was awesome.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
the
Yeah.
first 2 days. Of course, after the first 2 days it slowed down, but the first 2 days I made about $20,000.
Mm-hmm. 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 Well, that's great. So, the book and everything is it's I know it's on Amazon. You can pick it on Amazon, but what about your like down here in the DC area? Can I go to Books a Million and places like that and pick it up?
It's in Amazon, it's in Barnes and Noble, it's in
Okay.
Walmart, and it's on Google.
Okay. Okay. Awesome. Awesome. So do you plan to write another book? I know you got another story inside of you.
Yes, I have the deeper one. It's called The Realest S I Ever Wrote.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna say the curse, but yeah, that's the one that's gonna be the really good one
So
to me.
when do you anticipate that book coming out?
It's pretty much wrote. It's written. It's just like a
Hmm.
couple of things I have to add. So either I'm gonna put it out for my birthday, which is June 23rd. If not, I'm gonna wait till the new year.
Okay. 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 That's great. Awesome. 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 Do you ever make it down to the DC area to visit?
I came there maybe twice. Well, I have a really good friend.
Hmm.
She's based in Atlanta. She have a place called Slutty Vegan. It's a
Okay.
vegan restaurant, and she wanted to open up and she wanted to get a place in DC. So I went
Yeah.
to DC looking for commercial spaces for her.
Yeah. I've heard of her. Slutty Vicket. Now has she gotten the place in DC yet?
No, actually, we were going back and forth. I seen
Hmm.
one place that she had liked, but at the time, COVID was just hitting, so we didn't move forward. But soon as
Hmm.
I guess COVID slowed down, she's definitely gonna get a place in DC as well.
Because I heard an interview. They interviewed her last week, or either a week before last, and I want to say she was interviewed on Fox 5 here in DC.
Probably so.
I kind of know because when you said slutty vegan,
Yeah,
it
yeah,
rang the bell.
yeah. That's one of my very good friends.
Oh, okay, okay, okay. Very good concept, because she was talking about the food and preparing it, and because a lot of people are becoming vegans now,
Yeah,
you know.
and
Uh,
and what I like about her is that's really her life.
hmm.
See, you understand? It's not like somebody who sit and eat beef and pork and say, "Let me slutty
Right.
vegan." Like that's really who she is as a person.
Hmm.
She's a very
Hmm.
good person, very sweetheart.
Excuse me. I guess we all can learn something from her because I probably need to put away some of that meat I eat. I
Yeah,
just,
I mean, definitely changing your diet definitely helps a lot.
yeah, yeah, because I just love that meat.
And
So
you and I both.
it's hard to let go, especially when you grew up in the South. I'm from North Carolina. We had some stuff on the table down there. So
Yes,
it's
and it's
it's
so
hard to give it
weird.
up.
Yeah, it's weird. The supplements make you eat it. It's not like
That's right. That's right. Don't come down and talk about. Oh no, I just want some
I don't
vegetables.
eat
No.
this and I don't eat that. You eat
Yeah,
everything when you come here.
that's right. You're going to eat it and everything. So, what type of advice do you have to give to young people today? What do you tell a young person today?
Follow your heart, and like I don't know what's wrong with the youth. Like so many
Hmm.
people are like jealous. I don't understand the jealous trait. Like everybody have their turn, and what they people need to understand is your walk is not somebody else's walk. Just because
Right.
something worked perfect for them, that's not your calling.
Hmm.
Now, don't change who you are to be somebody else because you'll never be that. Now,
Hmm.
you could be you, and if you see somebody with some type of good qualities, you could take some of the things you have, but never lose your originality.
Hmm. Mm. That's a good point. That's a good point. And I think our young people do that today. They try
Everything's
to.
trend setting, and
Yeah.
like you see
Yeah.
one person with a red hat, then 9,000 people's gonna wear the same red hat.
Hmm.
Nobody have a complete mind of their own, and that's what's special about people, the uniqueness.
Hmm. Hmm.
And we're losing so much of uniqueness.
Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. And how do you motivate young people to stay focused and stay in school and go through the process? And not
You know,
everyone's going to be able to go
I,
to college.
you know, okay. Now,
Hmm.
I will hope that they finish, the basic school, but I wouldn't say you have to go to college to make it.
Right.
I wouldn't tell a child that.
Hmm.
I know it's not politically correct, but It's just not something I would do. Like, I mean, college is not for everybody.
Right. Right.
So,
You got to follow your dreams. I
yeah,
mean, honestly, you got to follow it. You got to figure out where's my lot in life at, and what do I want to do, and what do I want to be, and then you got to focus on those hopes and dreams, and that's what you got to do.
and yes, and that's exactly what I would
Mhm.
recommend. Like,
Yeah.
if find out who you are, not what somebody who wants you to be or who you think you should be. Find out who you are
Hmm.
and tap into that.
Yeah. Yeah.
And sometimes until you get there, you might have to do things you don't want to do. Like, you might have to, if you want to be a rapper, you might have to work in a supermarket first, even though it doesn't go there with it. You have to do the things you
Yeah.
get the due diligence to get where you need to be.
Yeah.
And what people need to understand is, you know, what bugs me out is that people, they don't have a penny, but they have so much pride. You just be like, are you kidding? Humble yourself.
Hmm.
Now,
Hmm.
I own a bunch of businesses, but it's nothing for me to go in my salon and pick up a mop. Like, everybody act like they're too good to nothing.
Right.
If you're striving for something, nothing should be too good for you. Like, a lot of people say they're broke and they don't have it, and you ask somebody for $20, but it's hands in the street. Pick them up. Like, everybody is just. I don't know what it is, but everybody
Hmm.
is too proud,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you can't be proud and begging.
Yeah, I just think is that we just have a different mindset today. Like you said, I was talking to someone yesterday about Jay-Z and how he went from, keeping it real, went from the hood as a drug dealer to, he's a billionaire. Because I was talking about the move he made with his streaming service. I was kind of surprised he sold it, so quickly. But as a businessman, he sees the opportunity. Hey, look, if I can still have some control over it and do what I need to do,
Why not?
hey, the money's there. I got to go for this money. And then you look at P. Diddy. P. Diddy started out as a janitor. He knew what he wanted to be, but he knew just couldn't walk into the office and say, "Look, hey, I'm P. Diddy. I want to be a record executive, or I want to be a rapper." He worked his way from janitor to the mail room and kept just going up the ladder. And I agree with you. That's what we got to do. We can't be afraid of work, and I think sometimes we're afraid of work.
Yeah,
We're afraid
that's
of work.
definitely the case scenario. That's
Yeah,
definitely the case scenario.
yeah. So
That's
look,
definitely.
everyone, we've had a conversation tonight with the Queen of Harlem. So if you're up in Harlem and you get in trouble, just say, "I know the Queen of Harlem." Okay, you won't get that ticket that the police officer gonna give you and everything. But it was great talking to you tonight, Michelle. For the viewers tonight, Michelle has a great story. A great story. I would recommend that you go out and buy her book. The title of it is "The Queen of Harlem Commandments." It's not just a book that can cover Harlem. It can cover your life, everyday life, anywhere in this country. And to me, it's a motivational book. That's what I see it as, a motivational book. You put it out there. This is what you got to do.
Well,
You
I
know,
thank you.
yeah, that's what you got to do. So I appreciate you taking time, out of your busy schedule. 'Cause I know you just got back in town, jumped off a plane, and when we were talking this morning, I said, she ain't gonna show up tonight. But I really appreciate you
No, my
being a
word
part of
is
the show tonight.
everything. I would
Yeah.
never
So
give you my word and don't do it. Period.
okay. So I know we're gonna be talking some more, but for everyone, please go out and buy her book. It's on Amazon. It's most Barnes and Nobles, Walmart. Just get it and read it. You see the author here tonight. Okay. So Michelle, it's been a pleasure to sit
And now
down with
it's
you
been a
for this
pleasure
short
talking
time.
to you.
And I know we're going to talk again because we got some unfinished business, So for our listeners, again, viewers, again, Urban Sentinel Lab is part of the Urban Sentinel magazine, where we try to bring on people that we're going to feature in the magazine, be a part of the magazine, people who have already been part of the magazine, because everyone has a story. And what I'm trying to do is get that story out and let everybody know what's going on, So everyone continue to have a great week this week, be blessed, wear your mask, wash your hands, take care, and I'll see you again next Monday night, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. Michelle, take care. Love you. We'll
Love
be
you
talking,
too.
okay?
Have a
Bye-bye
great
now.
one, and thank you for having me.
Oh, you're welcome. Take care.
All right, bye bye.